Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Ernisha binti Busri. My metric number is 65896. Okay, I will present my FYP2. My title is Early Start Denver Model for Teaching Preschool Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder. It is a comprehensive literature review. Here is my outline. There is 4 chapters. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and Chapter 4 and 5. For Chapter 1, I have abstract, introduction, problem statement, and research question. For Chapter 2, I have literature review. For Chapter 3, I have methodology. And for Chapter 4, I have result and discussion. Here is my Chapter 1. Okay, here is my abstract. There is 4 main points that I highlight in this abstract, which is proposals, methodology, result, and conclusion, which summarize my study. So for the proposals, I have stated my objective. Which is to explain the efficacy of early start Denver model technique in educating preschool children with autism spectrum disorder. For the methodology, this study is about literature review, so I have to find the article or study that are related to my topic. So this material has been conducted by using search engine and must be published in 1980 to 2019. So overall, most of the research have shows the early start Denver model effective for teaching preschool children with autism spectrum disorder. So what I can conclude here is the success or the effectiveness of the early start Denver model is depends on the length of the therapy and the approaches that have been used in the therapy. Okay, here is my introduction. Autism spectrum disorder is a disability that can affect on children's learning. So, the educators need to find the effective approaches to provide an effective learning experience to the children with autism spectrum disorder. What is autism spectrum disorder? Autism spectrum disorder is a series of associated behavioral disorder that may influence language abilities, attitudes, relationship, and also capability to learn. So, what are the symptoms of autism spectrum disorder? Okay. Students or children with autism spectrum disorder have difficulty in communications, have difficulty in social skills, and also emotional. What is the early start Denver model? Early start Denver model is a treatment for children between the age of 12 to 48 months. So this early start Denver model is based on applied behavior analysis, which use a playing method to create a healthy and enjoyable relationship between the teachers and the student, and also between the parents and their children. So this will inspire them to playing and join the exercise to develop the vocabulary, the cognitive, and the social skills. And what is the applied behavior analysis? Applied behavior analysis is a therapy that focuses on the learning and behavioral research. This applied behavioral analysis is used to explain how behavior function, how the environment affects the action, and how the learning will take place. So, by using this applied behavioral analysis, they can improve the language, the cognitive abilities as well as to strengthen the social skills and decrease the problem activity. Okay, for my problem statement and my research question, my problem statement is about the diagnosis rates for autism spectrum disorder has increased and more children with ASD has been enrolled into public school. So the educators have to face and encounter numerous difficulties in educating and balancing the cognitive and the behavioral growth and maintaining the academic success for all the students. So for the research question, I have two research questions here. The first one is the early start Denver model and approach effective for young children with autism spectrum disorder? And the second research question is what is the characteristic of the effective early start Denver model treatment in terms of optimal duration and intervention, delivery mode, whether in group or individual? Continue to the chapter 2, which is the literature review. Okay, for my literature review, I have three topics that I have been discussed, which is treatment description, the effectiveness of ESDM, and also the limitation. For the treatment description, I have talked about the history and background about early start Denver model. For the effectiveness of ESDM, I've talked about the evidence that shows the early start Denver model is effective for teaching preschool children with autism spectrum disorder. I also talk about the effective duration and the age range of the children. Okay, for the limitation, I talk about the limitation of each study and see what are the differences between the limitation. Next is chapter 3, which talk about methodology. Okay, for this methodology, the year of publication must be published in 1980s to 2019 because this ESDM, early start Denver model, has been created in 1890s. Then the keyword that I have used to search for the material is autism spectrum disorder, teaching technique for children with autism spectrum disorder, early start Denver model, early intervention for children with autism spectrum disorder, preschool children with autism, applied behavior analysis, and also early intervention. And then the search engine that I use to conduct the search is Google Scholar, Microsoft Academic, and also ResearchGate. And the material, for the material, every research or study that are related to my topic will be chosen. Okay, comes to the last chapter, which is chapter 4 and 5. This chapter talk about the result and discussion. So for the results of finding, it is based on research question. Okay, for the research question 1, which is the early start Denver model and approach effective for young children with autism spectrum disorder? Okay, here is my finding for my research question 1. I have stated year of research, age range, gender, and the effectiveness. Year of research doesn't affect the effectiveness. For the age range, also there's no significant difference between the age range for the effectiveness, and the gender also there's no differences between males or females because this ESDM can be effective for both gender. So here what we can see is the effectiveness, which the effectiveness of early start Denver model that shows the improvement in IQ, adaptive behavior, diagnosis status, language skills, improve the cognitive, motor abilities, and also um, improve in cognitive level and social communication. So continue to the research question 2. which is what is the characteristic of the effective early start Denver model treatment in terms of optimal duration and intervention delivery mode. This is the finding that answers my research question 2. There's optimum duration, intervention delivery, and also characteristic of the effectiveness. For the optimum duration doesn't affect this treatment because this treatment has been conducted in 1 to 2 years. Some of this treatment has been conducted in 1 year, and also some of this treatment has been conducted in 2 years. But both or all of these treatments shows their effectiveness. So what I see here is what differentiate each of these treatment is the number of hours performed over a week. So what can I conclude? The more hours allocated to this treatment per week, then the more longer the duration will take for this treatment. Then intervention delivering. The intervention delivering can be delivered using 2 ways within individuals or groups, or both group and individuals at some times. So here also I have characteristic of the effectiveness that shows the characteristic how it shows the effectiveness of the early start Denver model for preschool children with autism spectrum disorder in terms of their learning. This is the continue for the previous slide and also this one. Okay, for the discussion, I have discussed the finding for both research questions. I also have linked the effectiveness of early start Denver model with the year of publication, with the gender, with the optimum duration, and also with the intervention delivering to see whether it is affect the effectiveness of the intervention or not. So for the entire study, I find the effectiveness of this intervention can help the children with autism spectrum disorder to learn and have a effective learning and improve their weakness. So there are so many improvements that we can see throughout the study. So this has been proven. The early start Denver models can help the teachers and parents in providing the base educational experiences to the students with autism spectrum disorder. So last but not least, the early start Denver models is one of the intervention that I can suggest for the parents and for the teachers that have children with autism spectrum disorder. So that's all from me. Thank you.